So thank you for joining us, everyone. This is Business and Breakfast. It's a long-running series that's in partnership with us and the library, Garfield County Libraries, the Post-Independent, the Glenwood Springs Chamber, CMC, and River Blend, Coffee House, and of course Blizzard Press. We have 4 great sessions lined up for you. Please check out the library website for more information about each of those and also to link to each one. Let's see, so we have a little special promotion going on. If you attend all of our sessions, you can be entered into a raffle for a couple of different prizes. We have a $25 gift card to River Blend Coffee House. We also have $25 gift cards to CMC's Continuing Education, which is a pretty sweet deal. Just make sure, if you can, to attend all of them, and you can be entered into the raffle. When you register, your email address and information is included, so we'll be able to see that you attended all 4, and then make sure that you're entered in the raffle. Let's see. As always, please check out the library's website, gcpld.org, in order to see what other programs we have. We have a lot of virtual programs going on right now, as well as some what we call to-go crafts, where each age group has crafts they can come in to get a kit so that they can work on it at home. So please check out our website for more information. And so that's all I have for housekeeping, so I will hand it over to Joe.
Hello, everybody. My name is Joe Van Wyk, and I have been in the graphic design and portrait photography, videography fields for a number of years now. Recently relocated here to the Roaring Fork Valley, and I'm so glad to be here. I'm going to share my screen now. And if any of you needs to get in touch with me, here's my email address. Any questions that you have whatsoever after the presentation, be happy to answer for you. If you want to do a little quick consult in person, over the phone, whatever, we can do that too. If you want to use me as a sounding board, that's great. We're all in this together. Today, I am going to talk about certain things that that I do and this team here does as a service. And I do mean we're all in this together because actually this brand here, this Joe Van Wyk brand, is changing when I officially launch my Colorado business. And that'll be on February 1st. We're changing the name and branding, and our specialization will be branding videos for businesses. So if you want to get on my email list, then you can just send me an email to that email address, or fill out the contact form on my website. So the website is joevanwyk.com. So I thought we'd start with just really taking in the now. Just kind of as we get started here, take some deep breaths. Kind of be aware of your surroundings, where you are right now. So as we do our next little exercise, I want to encourage you to keep on breathing down into your belly. No one's looking. Pooch that belly out. And let's keep on breathing. I do want to do a visioning exercise. I think they're so incredibly powerful. You know, I recently came across, I think it's on Netflix, the movie The Secret. And I was just re-exposed in a fresh way to the law of attraction and this idea that what we think about and what we feel in our body, um, those things we attract, those like vibrations, those like thoughts and feelings. And and quantum physics and what has happened in the study of energy and matter proves that out. So we'll do a little visioning exercise now. You can close your eyes if you'd like. But we're going to think about what you're here for. And I assume you're here for breakthrough. You're here for breakthrough. Maybe something that you've tried to do for sometimes, but just haven't quite gotten over the hump. Maybe it's video marketing. Maybe it's a whole new way of approaching your business. Maybe it's a new business and you're looking for courage right now. Tips, whatever. So let's think about your endeavor, your business thriving. Let's think about not only more customers, but great customers. Like the last deal you did. Let's say you're a realtor and you just did a deal and you're thinking about this recent deal and how well it went, how smoothly it went, and the kind of joy that the clients felt and how appreciative of you that they were. You think of that, appreciative clients. Think of how it feels when a client, well, speaking of a realtor, just this past Saturday, I did a little shoot for a realtor and some Christmas portraits of some of her clients, families that came through, and she noted at the end of that how well I work with people and how I'm evoking that. That's like what I have in my mind right now: interaction with people, and how good that makes me feel when I know I've got that connection there. And now let's just think about the gratitude surrounding that we get to practice our craft, that we're pursuing, this thing that brings us so much satisfaction. We can even look back on 2021. Yes, 2021. Like imagine a year from now and look back at all the successes that we had in 2021. Looking at things, sometimes it's called future memory. It's a very, very powerful exercise in attraction. But whenever we do visioning, whenever we think about this positively, we want to just keep infusing gratitude. Thank the universe. Thank everything that's brought about what we have right now, inside and outside. So this visioning exercise is something that we can do as part of our creative exercise, day in and day out, creative routines. We're going to talk about several creative routines. They're going to bring us into this state of mind. 2021 is, it's not will be, 2021 is a year of breakthrough. We're all ready for breakthrough. Every time a nation, a civilization goes through the kind of challenges that we've gone through this year, there's a creative renaissance at the end of it. So many different new ways of looking at things we've been forced into. There are so many ways that we're discovering of meaningfully connecting to people. Authenticity on a whole new level. We're the experts now. I mean, I don't think there are any experts left after 2020. We're figuring this out as we go, and that's great because it forces us to be mindful and to really think about each step of what we're doing. We'll talk about these creative routines later, but we should mix things up. You know, when we get into the same entrenched thoughts and routines, things can kind of go, I don't know, just bland, sterile. And that definitely happened to me. And it's completely changed since I moved back here to the Roaring Fork Valley and started embracing some of these concepts. Another word on authenticity, boy, if authenticity was important, boy, it's important on a level now it's never been important before. We've all been so, I don't know, we've gone through a lot of maybe inaccurate news and strange things on social media, things that are just, it's hard to believe. It's hard to know that we're receiving accurate information. And so we're skeptical. So the people that we do business with and that are doing business with us, we are cognizant on a whole new level of this idea of authenticity. Is this person being real to me? And that's a very, very attractive quality. And I'm going to encourage you in all of your marketing and communications to let that be a thread that goes through all of it. So we're going to set intention right now. First of all, we'll set intention about today. You know, we talked about that vision. But my intention for today, for instance, I just want to give you as much as I can kind of fundamental inspiration, some knowledge, but a lot of inspiration and things that you can return back to fan that creative flame inside you. There will be goals later on. There will be specific tasks later on, but there will be script writing and videos to make and social media posts and blogs to write. All of those things are practices and skills, but you can't sit down with a blank page and knock out a blog post, let's say, or a branding video without first having the intention. And the intention comes from our why. You know, why did we start this business? What was that original passion that got us so excited about starting our business? Or if you're starting a new business, what's the why there? And there are a lot of ways to find our why. This intention is going to move into our brand. It's the fruit of this intention is going to come, the brand is going to come from that. But think about that. Why did you start your business? Again, I'm going to come back to personal example after personal example because that's all I have. I have a friend in business, and I know she's going gangbusters in her business, and and it's a very relational business. And I think about her, and I know why she got into it. She's such a relational person. So it was kind of a a personality, a part of her essence that has made her so good at this craft that she's practicing now. But I know that she could switch to something else and have that same kind of success because of this relationality. Now, with me, I guess Joe with a camera kind of describes it, and I'll tell you a little personal story. Personal story that has to do with here, the Roaring Fork Valley, and how grateful and blessed I am to be here. When I was like in ninth grade or something, my mom gave my dad a real nice camera for Christmas, a couple lenses. It was a film camera at the time, of course. And not only did she give my dad that, but she gave both of us, she set it up to where we could go take a course in photography together at the local technical school, technical college, where I grew up in deep South Texas. And I did that with my dad, and it meant so much for us to do that together. We had a lot of things that we did together and a lot of outdoorsy stuff, but this was something that I really, really enjoyed. And I was the obnoxious kid, you know, always with his hand up and answering questions before the teacher got finished with the answer, with the question. And that was sort of the beginning of it. Me, I'm thinking about that all these years later, and I can feel those butterflies in my stomach, thinking of that kind of genesis of Joe with the camera. It just clicked. It just, you know, I loved it. I loved having that camera. So high school, so I started high school and I was taking photographs with my dad's camera and using it a lot. And it didn't take long. He was using the camera less and less, and I had totally absconded with his camera. And I had successes in high school and I had challenges in high school. And some of those challenges led me to a big time change in my life, and that is leaving my hometown high school and finishing up school up here in Carbondale at Colorado Rocky Mountain School. And wow. Carbondale, the Roaring Fork Valley, CRMS, became a haven for me. It became like a sanctuary for me. On the right side of your screen, hopefully you can see this photograph. There's your picture might be covering it up a little bit, but on the far right side, there's this little adobe building. And that's where I painted just about every single day. I did art in there. And there was another building across campus that in the basement of that building was a photography lab. And so up there with my dad's camera, I took photos, went out on assignments, took photos, lots of photos of Sopris, lots of photos of nature. And then I got to develop that film and make prints. And I learned that process. So it kind of further solidified this idea of Joe with a camera more than I knew at the time, that's for sure. My career started and I eventually found my way into the graphic design field, which I've been doing for many, many years. Photography, videography too, that's been something that's been increasing over the years. And I even started a YouTube channel. Let's see here. And one of the things that I gravitated towards in photography was street photography. And so I went on workshops and practiced a ton of where I moved from. And this timeline started maybe 6 or so years ago. I started to really get serious about photography and portrait photography. And so I had a little business in addition to my graphic design business. And I I would do portrait photography for people, and that worked out. That was a good source of income. What we call it now are hybrid careers. And so it's great to be able to cobble together things as revenue streams. So plenty of times where I did classic street photography, like candid shots like this, or of something ironic or whatever. This was during Fashion Week in New York when I was on a workshop. I took this shot. But what I seem to gravitate towards are people over and over and over again, encountering people on the streets. This was in Austin. And striking up a conversation and ask if I could do some portraits. And so my street photography and street portraits kind of practice took off. I started making YouTube videos of encounters with people on the streets. And so like this guy right here, I saw him on, it was middle of the day, 6th Street in Austin. And I encountered him and introduced myself, and I had camera in hand. And I said, hey man, how's it going? You know, hey, listen, my name's Joe. I'm a portrait photographer, a professional photographer here in Austin, and I like to come down here downtown to practice with people. Could you help me and work with me for a few minutes? I don't have a lot of money to spare, but I'll make sure that you know, you're compensated after we do our shoot. And usually the answer is yes. And so I start working with this stranger in the same exercises that I'd work with you on if I were doing a portrait shoot of you. One of the exercises is, does that look familiar? Eyes closed, like we were doing. So I say, all right, let's let the energy, let's let all this tension flow out of your face. Close your eyes. Let's breathe, breathe. Okay, dude, no one's looking. Push out your belly. Come on, man, just push out that tension. Meanwhile, I'm right here, ready to shoot. Okay, brother. Now, open your eyes right into the lens. Pop, 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 pop. And then I work with him on other poses or whatever, but these are some of the treasures that came from little mini shoots like that, little mini encounters out on the streets. Lots of colorful people in Austin, man. You know, that, I mean, it's not just the, you know, wealthy people or Californians moving to Texas or whatever that love Austin, all the music or whatever, but heck, man, people, you know, who live on the streets, they love Austin too. And so a lot of them are like that. And there are, like I say, super colorful characters. You know, this encounter with this guy, I know that, you know, I look into his eyes and I know that he's probably sensing things and perceiving things differently than I am, but there's still a connection there. And I got a number of shots showing so many expressions from his face. And this beautiful, beautiful young woman, I still think of that encounter. And I think, you know, I hope she's doing well today. I hope she's doing okay. There was kind of a heaviness of doing this, you can imagine, of all of these encounters, but it made me feel down in my body the humanity, you know, and what I used to think of homeless people like on street panhandlers constantly asking for money. I mean, Austin's huge panhandle, every single light you come to, walking downtown, they're all over the place. But when you photograph people and you get to experience their humanity, it really changes our whole psyche. But the extemporaneous photos, those sessions on the streets, they helped improve and improve and improve the way I work with people from all walks of life. So that translated really well into my portrait photography business. And one thing that took off before I left Texas was doing dating portrait photography. And so I charge a reasonable fee to do these walk around shoots, urban settings, so they could use on their dating profile. But those emotions, that authentic look that you see in these faces here, that's a result of being relational and working with people. And I'm good at that. And I loved all the urban stuff and the nitty and the gritty. But man, am I glad to be here in Colorado. To be out of the giant metropolis of Austin, and before that San Antonio, and be in this beautiful, beautiful area. So Joe with the camera, little different gig now. And so it does, that's background that I really wanted to give you, because it's part of me discovering my brand now. And part of discovering that brand is, first of all, knowing that a brand is a feeling. Think of any company. Think of the Glenwood Pool. That's a good one. Think of that brand. Think of the experience of going to the Glenwood Pool and sinking into that water. Think of the lifeguards, the gift shop, the health club, where you park, your interaction with the people there, all the people from other countries and other languages. So that feeling, when I say Glenwood Hot Springs Pool, you're not thinking of a logo. I could hardly think of the logo right now. You're thinking of a feeling that's being produced in your body. And that's something we want to come back to, because when our brand evolves from practice, experimenting, what fits us, we want to take our idealized brand and feel that in our body, and be able to return to that, because that's what's going to signal who our audience is, what we want to be promoting, what feelings do we want to evoke. Those feelings of positivity in ourselves, of being in the flow, of doing what we love to do so much, we can keep returning to those feel-good feelings, and we'll attract a similar vibration. We will attract people of that same affinity, of that same desire. So think about, what feeling do you want to evoke? And I'll give you an example of a powerful contrast in branding. Excuse my bias, but this is just what I think. Think of shopping carts, okay? Just think of whatever shopping carts. Now, I want you to think of a Walmart shopping cart. Got it? Got it in your head? Think of a Walmart cart, pushing a Walmart shopping cart. When you get pull out the Walmart shopping cart, think of a Walmart shopping cart. Now think of a Target shopping cart. Got it? walking into Target, turn, there are those shopping carts. You want to know what comes to my mind? This is pretty much what comes to my mind. I don't know. Walmart, of course, over time has done so much to make their brand, a little more elevated, but I'm sorry. This is still what sticks in my head. And Target, like Target, I'm pushing that cart through wide aisles, beautifully organized things and merchandised things. And, the way the cart feels. I usually don't get that spinning wheel with Target carts. Walmart, that's another story. So we can see what a brand evokes. I can't stress enough that your brand evolves. The brand evolves, just like corporate brands evolve. So to evolve, we have to practice. And our creative routine, some of these things here, you probably have great other creative routines that you can add to this list, is really critical. And each one of these, when I say walking, I'm thinking walking alone with the dog, or writing, visioning, vlogging, and vlogging on YouTube, that's great. But I mean like vlogging with no intention of sharing the video at all. Just making a little video, a daily little catch-up video with ourselves, talking into the camera. That's a practice. That's a routine that we can do. We can build that into our routine, and so much will come from it because we're practicing our branding, practicing our intention for our business. A number of months back, I started writing 10 minutes a day. I set a timer, writing 10 minutes a day. And it was so huge for me, writing with knowing that no one's going to read that, just writing for writing's sake. Meditation's critical. I try to meditate 20 minutes a day. Try to meditate 20 minutes twice a day. But for me, that solitude, doing these things and being just with me, being able, if things are going tough and I feel anxiety in my body, meditating and being able to sit with those difficult feelings and be resilient, that's huge. And that really builds my resilience and confidence. So now we're going to get into a little bit more about nuts and bolts, some more philosophy, but some nuts and bolts too. I want you to think about what you want to accomplish with video marketing, your own branding video, as cultivating a library of media. This is your media library. Think of it that way. You're the Jane Smith company. This is the Jane Smith media library that you're creating. So one thing that's really hard to do, but you're gonna do it, I know you can do it. You are going to Marie Kondo your photos and videos. No, I'm not gonna say you. Our photos and videos, because I have a long way to go doing this too. But for those of you who don't know, Marie Kondo is a little bitty Japanese woman who hit it big with this tidying up show of hers. And she would go into people's homes and teach them how to tidy up and teach these mindfulness practices of tidying up our stuff, having what we want, wanting what we have, and not having a bunch of excess that doesn't serve us anymore. So one of the things that I just love, this technique of hers, is she'd go into a bedroom and um, take everything out of the closets and the drawers, all the clothes, and stack them on the bed in that bedroom. Just stack, stack, stack. And then you would grab the very top item and hold it, and you just feel, what kind of a feeling am I getting from this? And if it's a positive feeling inside my body, I'm feeling, here's my striped shirt from 8 years ago that I used to think was super, super cool, but it reminds me of that, oh, yuck. There's this thing about that shirt that's just doesn't quite sit right with me, Pitch. That goes into the trash bag, not another pile, but just into the trash. And to do that over and over and over again. But before that thing goes into the trash, that's right, there's another critical step. We take that thing and we thank it, Whoa, we've had some good times, you and me, shirt. Hey man, now it's time to move on. So on your phone, most likely you have thousands and thousands of photos and videos. It is a mindful and cleansing process to cull out the stuff that no longer serves us and to really be ruthless about it. To go in, and if we have, if we went to juniors kindergarten graduation and we took 80 photos there, imagine what it would be like to reduce that down to 2 or 3, to take the best of each scene and only keep those. And then to take all of the different scenes and decide, okay, I don't need him, with dad separate, with grandpa separate, with grandma separate, and maybe we could just keep the one of all of us together. But whatever system that is, and there's so many tools out there for organizing and culling and mindfulness, minimalism, we want to make it our own system. I have, for the longest time, I've had a cataloging system for photography, and now it's translating into video. So for instance, well, I have one of my graphic design clients is a cigar manufacturer and catalog mail order operation. Done a catalog for them for many, many years. I've done a ton of product work. And so each one of those videos from the very beginning, be like the photos, product photos and whatnot, would be everything that was just a single cigar would be C_Macanudo_torpedo .psd. And so, or a cigar box, in other words, open box with cigars in it, would be CB_Macanudo _assortment, etc. So those are in different folders, cigar folder, cigar box folder. But if I took all of those folders that I have for my cigar company library, photo library, image library, and I just dump them into one folder, by my naming convention and thinking this through, they would all fall out in alpha order anyway. And if I wanted to bust them out again and put them back into the folders, I could just select and grab all the C's, and that would go in the C folder. Imagine if you took your library and then created a special library just for your business and named them and made sure that everything in that library is something that you want and is going to be helpful for your business. If you could do that, that would be the beginning of your media library. So those are things that can be grabbed over time, you may have evergreen images of, of driving up to Redstone and the drive up to Sopris, and you pulled over and you took a great shot of that day, and you cataloged that. You took 50 shots, but you found the very best one, and that goes into your Sopris folder or mountains folder, let's say. And that's something that um, in a little video that you're making on a let's say an Instagram story or something, you could add that into it. So we're going to mindfully create our own system. And one thing that you can do is add in professional, local, evergreen B-roll into the mix. So part of this business that we're starting is having a video library of local things, local B-roll. Like you can go to iStock or something like that, and you can find incredible video B-roll of just about anything. And stock photography, what you think of as a stock photography site, well, there's stock video sites too. But this would be, since our clientele will be mostly up and down the Roaring Fork Valley, this will be a library of local things. Maybe a scene we need of a some night video, time lapses of cars driving through Glenwood's downtown and going up and over the bridge, or it may be skiers walking up to the lift at the bottom of Ajax and sort of crowds and the mountain. That may be something, and those would be evergreen because, well, actually, maybe not evergreen 20 years down the road because, I don't know, we'll all be driving electric cars then, so the cars might be dead. But reasonably, they'd be evergreen content, meaning that they work today and they work for a year today. So make sure that you do think in those terms when you're building your library. So now we're going to talk a little bit about shooting and editing. Let me take a look at our time here. And the right tool for the right job. I'm going to touch on this briefly, and then we're going to take a break. And I'm going to show you, when we come back from break, I'm going to show you a test video that we did just last week, and I shot it on my iPhone, and it's for a client here in Carbondale. And I wanted to do this on my iPhone to show you that you don't need a serious gear setup. I have that here, and it's super expensive cameras and gear to do something really cool. I love smartphones. Any professional videographer that is not using smartphones as part of their mix is, to me, really missing the boat, because there are shots that you can take with this that are so cool and so amazing angles and getting down low and getting up high and the stabilization and just the quality of them. There are many things that I can do with this that I can't do with this big boy camera. Now, I can't get the shallow depth of field effect that I get with this, and dynamic range and a million other things that this excels at. But there are some shots that look so much better shot on this. So it's important to use the right tool for the job. When we come back and we look at this test video that we did, I'm also going to show you, we're going to take a little peek under the hood and look at way I did them. Now, I shot them on my iPhone and then brought them into iMovie on the desktop. I edited the video in iMovie. Now, I could have edited some of it on iMovie on the phone itself, but that's a lot harder to do. So we're going to work smart. So again, we'll take a look at this test video, and then I'll share my screen and show you what that looks like in iMovie, how that finished video came out of all these layers and audio and audio clips. When we talk about sharing um, posting. I'm just gonna just a quick note on this. And again, then now we're in just a second we'll go on break. But as far as social media strategy, I'm gonna have a real bias on that, folks. I I have less and less confidence in social media as a like the tip of the spear strategy for marketing. It's going to be there. Of course, we're going to take our creations and put them out there on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, etc. But most importantly, we want to focus on our community, our peeps, all of those friends on social media. Those to me are, some of them are like artificial relationships. They really don't, it's just because I know what some girl I went to high school said about her cousins, whatever, that doesn't make her like a friend in my normal orbit of people. Local, local is the new social media. Who are your friends? Who are your peeps? Who's your coach? Who's your therapist? Who are the people, your family members? People that really are meaningful to you. Pruning and treasuring our list of friends is critical. It's very similar to that library, but our list is everything. And we want to make sure that we have, our list does not have a bunch of excess. And every one of the people on our list, we have those names, the full names and family members and email address and physical address to be able to contact them. A physical address that I can send a card to, that's rock solid. I know I do that and it is going to get to them. An email list, me sending out a group email to people who have opted into that relational thing. I can't lose that. Once I've got that list, it's mine, and I can get in touch with that person in my group, whether that's been an email list of in MailChimp of 50 people or 500. But email to me, email should be the cornerstone of marketing. That's where we pull it all together. That's where we can show our creations, our videos. And that's one of the ways to share video among others. So when we come back, we'll see this branding video that we created, little 1-minute intro video that we did, and we'll take a look at how all of it was put together too. That's all I have right now. Lauren, you ready to take it?
I am. Thank you, Joe. So go ahead and everyone just take a minute to grab some coffee. If you need to, run to the restroom. It's actually really funny that you mentioned all that about the importance of email and that sort of real first person communication options, because in February, that's basically our topic for Business and Breakfast. It's called Reaching Customers Using First Party Data and Creating that real connection. And it'll feature the Post Independent's publisher, Bryce Jacobson. So make sure to come back for that.
How many minutes should we take, Lauren?
I am all done. So I did what I needed to do.
I mean, for our break?
Let's give it 30 more seconds and then start again. I think we'll be good.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, I hope that was enough time for everyone to get a glass of water and or a little more coffee. We do already have a question from someone. Thank you for submitting a question, Connie. Um, Everyone else, if you want to start submitting your questions, Joe will show his video and then a little bit about how he did it, and then there should be plenty of time for specific questions. Thank you for submitting another one, Vicki. Yeah, please keep submitting questions so that Joe can answer them in just a moment. Oh, Joe, I'm seeing your icon in front of your face. Could you stop your video and start it again?
Sure.
I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Maybe it's me.
Let me speak here. So I pop up as the, if you're
Okay.
looking, does that look okay now?
Yes, perfect, thank you.
Came over to me. All right, sounds good. So everybody have your, have your sound turned on and everything. I'm gonna show you this video that we created. All right, so as you're watching this, try to think about the brand that's being projected. Try to think about that. Think of what you're noticing about branding, the way you're feeling when you see this. Okay, here we go.
At Fruition Studio, we help small businesses and entrepreneurs feel the joy of marketing. In most of our shopping, which we do a lot of, there's no connection to the person that made that thing. We don't even know where it came from most of the time. We offer marketing and creative services to companies who want to share meaningful content and generate growth without a massive marketing budget. Decide. We think you'll like it here.
So I'd like to know, I'd love to hear some comments from you about, any thoughts that you might have, how that landed with you, what you took out of it. Oh, well, that, that wasn't somebody I don't think was relevant to me, but ooh, I could see somebody who did that. Did we get across very clearly what Paige does, what she offers professionally, her offerings? Was there a call to action? Was it more ethereal or was it more nuts and bolts? So love to know your questions there. And you know what, I think we could also, you could just unmute and we could, one by one, we could ask questions out loud. But if you prefer doing it in the Q&A area, then I can. So again, everything that we saw there was shot on the iPhone. I'll play it again, by the way, so you can see the whole thing. And so it was shot on the iPhone and brought into iMovie on the desktop and edited there. Well, let's get into that real quick. I'm going to share my screen again. Let me show you what this looks like in iMovie. So editing video really does require mastery. I mean, it's, I have years of experience of creating videos for my YouTube channel, like those street portrait videos that I did. If you can see a lot of these encounters and me encountering people out on the streets, because I would take a camera and then put a GoPro on the top and have meet these people. And so I've created videos like that for YouTube channel. That's part of my own branding, but professionally, this is a new thing for me to be doing that as like this new brand that we're rolling out. I'm doing branding videos now, and so as a result of the experience that I had before, and the business model needing to do things quickly and efficiently, iMovie's a perfect start for me. I know this inside and out. And if there are things in iMovie that I can't do here, the features that I need that I can't do here, then I can just open up this project in Final Cut Pro and go to town. Now, somebody had asked about Android related thing. I would definitely check out. So what I'm describing here is going the Apple route, not only with hardware, but with Apple's iMovie software and Final Cut Pro, which is also an Apple product. Now you can go the Adobe route too. There's Adobe Spark. That's like a little smartphone app that you can pull in video clips. Okay, here's my logo, blunk, a still. Here's my, like in Page's case, these logos that we put at the end. Well, these logos, those would be in your library, your image library. Oh, wow, for the purpose of this, it kind of went along with that music. Oh, wow, I'd like to do that again. So I keep these graphics in that library. Oh, okay, here's a separate clip. Here's Page exiting through the tunnel, and at the beginning is Page entering in through the tunnel. Well, that'll be part of my video library, and I'll know where to grab it because I will have named those things accordingly. They're always accessible. So everything that I shot is here in this media folder. And so you bring these things down and drag them down onto the timeline. So here's clips and clip and clip and clip. And we can zoom way into our timeline. If I have to do fine tuning, then I do that. But what you're looking at, the timeline is down here. And so these green things are my audio tracks. And these are my video tracks up here. There's actually only one place during the video that I'm using the audio from the clip itself. And the audio is not that great, but so
in most of our shopping,
there's
which
Paige
we do a
talking
lot of,
live in her video.
there's no
But everything else was an audio track laid down below the video.
we help small businesses and entrepreneurs.
So that is green track right there is her talking. She recorded into the microphone, and down here is the bed of music below it.
And entrepreneurs feel the joy.
So you see those things stacked, and then as this goes by, it shows you where you are on the timeline. So, that's kind of complex stuff. So got layering here. I want to make sure that song, as that part of it came to a close, then this neatly and smoothly transitioned.
We offer marketing and creative services to companies who want to share meaningful content and generate growth without a massive marketing budget.
So that's what something like that looks like in iMovie. So for a an iMovie for a quote, kind of consumer app, it can still get really, really complex. But the complexity of the editing software, this is just the icing on the cake. This is the result of so much preparation ahead of time. Like when this intro part where listen to what Paige says, just this short, several seconds long thing. Listen to what she says.
At Fruition Studio, we help small businesses and entrepreneurs feel the joy of marketing.
I can't imagine a better summary of what Paige brings to the world because I work with her. We both we're connected to CoVenture in Carbondale. It's where my office is. I live in Glenwood and work in Carbondale. And so Paige is a operations manager at CoVenture, which is a business incubator, co-working space, really neat collection of different talents. A lot of manufacturers are in there making that have businesses with various products. And so that's my connection with Paige. And actually, I'm in her office right now. I probably look familiar. I'm in her office right now. So that statement right there.
At Fruition Studio, we help small businesses and entrepreneurs feel the joy of marketing.
After a while of working with Paige, I went to leave a message on her voicemail, and I got her voicemail, and boom, she said that. And I was like, oh my gosh, nothing summarizes any better what Paige does. That's exactly the way she makes me feel. She has helped me feel the joy of marketing. So all of the time that we spent today talking about branding, talking about the intention, talking about the inner work, then that wellspring that comes out of the inner work, that is what went into that. And that's why the video editing and the shooting, those are just the tips of the iceberg. What's really below the surface is that message, is the story, is what we're putting out there. All right, so that said, Connie, I see your question about MailChimp to share to groups via email. Yeah, so like MailChimp, it's when we receive that email from MailChimp or the various other Constant Contact or Squarespace. I use Squarespace. Squarespace has a neat little email marketing tool. We're getting to put out there a collection of text and words that we get to show, and it's all there in this tight container of an email. That's gold. It doesn't have we're not having to battle through any algorithms. We know it's getting through to the person, unless they can unsubscribe and everything, or they hit the delete button. But we at least know it's gotten from point A to point B, just like a letter. It hasn't been filtered out, and we haven't had someone else decide what they're going to show or not. So yeah, MailChimp is the default, but and remember when you're sending a MailChimp email out and you're quote including video in that, we're talking about something that, okay, well, here's the video stuck here, and you click on it, it launches Vimeo or YouTube, and you watch it there. It's depending on how your browser works. But yes, I think it's a great thing. But we want to think about new and inventive ways to share things like this right here. We could do a lower res version of this, really the resolution of smartphone screens, and she could just drag it into a text message and send it out. So just imagine if you were one of Paige's clients and she said, hey, Judy, I want you to check out this branding video that we just did. Bloop. And she texted that. Oh, and by the way, how's Frank and how are the kids? You're in putting really focus, that logo at the beginning, it says shine your light. That's a way to shine your light, not let just diffuse light shine, but actually target. Jane may have received that same video in her email, but she also got a text from Paige, not some generic thing, but asking her how she connected with Paige. Vicki, thank you for this question about Android. My apologies for just talking Apple this, Apple that. I'm just not super knowledgeable about the whole Android ecosystem, but I know that it's similar to iPhone in the sense that there are some native apps that sort of pull everything together. And that's what I like about having my Photos app and all of that in one place. And then boop, everything on the desktop is automatically organized and synchronized. But but just as many people on the Mac side of things are into, and so like with iMovie, that's a Mac only thing. But you could also on the Mac use an Adobe product that would be the same product you'd use on the Windows side. So like Adobe Spark or Adobe Premiere Rush. It's kind of the iMovie version of Premiere. And then there's Adobe Premiere, which is the heavy duty, they make Hollywood movies on Adobe Premiere, and it's a very high level professional app. I don't think it can do a whole lot more than what Final Cut Pro can do, but it's more the industry standard for people who are professional video editors. Yeah. Any other questions?
Maybe I can just throw this out there. You talked a lot about being prepared yeah, before you even start recording. But I don't know, are there certain things that that you recommend when you're starting to think about recording? Like make sure to try and get things from interesting angles. Make sure you're including your logo, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those are great ideas. It's, am I communicating my brand? Again, keep on coming back to the feeling of our brand. That's what we want to evoke. Hey, there's a reason why I chose to show you right now this picture of this dog. I mean, this is totally a little snapshot of my Colorado story. I lived on a ranch in our RV. I say our because that's Frankie. He's my little buddy, golden doodle. And so I worked on a ranch part-time through the summer and the fall and lived out there. And that's the new Colorado thing. It's not an urban Austin thing. It's a Colorado thing. So choosing that photo to put that photo there was important. And then, I've got my logo on it. The color is the same, the logo treatment. And so the call to action is important. I hope that you'll go out there, and if you have the motivation to do this yourself, to do the video work yourself, that you're able to think in terms of creating clips and using some basic photographic methods, learning about just learn this inside and out. That's the best advice. Learn this amazing tool. I mean, where you're able to shoot video, in a stabilized way, doing a panning shot, doing, a shot that comes up, rising up, or walking and talking, vlogging style, walking and talking, blah, 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 blah. do a quick little video of encouragement and bloop, send it to your friend, send it to a client. My client Billy. Hey Billy, I was just thinking about you today, man. Fink Cigar Company, established 1893. Check this out. Bloop, and I turn it around and I'm standing in front of the Glenwood Hotel and there's their sign, established 1893. Isn't that wild? What a coincidence. Boom, send it to him. That's video marketing. That's a one-clip spontaneous thing, boom, that I sent to someone. That's video marketing. That's branding. That's me caring about someone. That comes from the wellspring of wanting to serve someone, wanting to enrich their lives, but wanting to remind them of this amazing story of this old cigar company, the oldest cigar company in the United States, Fink Cigar Company in San Antonio, Texas. Oh, and as far as other little tools, some of what was shot for Paige's video was shot with this gimbal. So this, you attach this gimbal here and it allows for steady shots. That's to use with the iPhone. With my big boy camera, I use this kind of gimbal right here, does the exact same thing. Allows me to this hooks on the top, and this allows me to get those glassy, smooth Hollywood shots. Taking low shots. You can, this thing kind of splits and allows you to do these low shots, walking, camera low and walking video. Heck, with this iPhone, a lot of times I'll take low shot. There was a shot in there of Paige's, of her shoes walking. That I was walking literally this way down, like a few inches from the floor, and just sort of crouching, watching while I was shooting this. But I knew my camera was nice and stable. So one of the things that has the hallmarks of professionally shot is that stability. So it's important. I mean, this iPhone gimbal there is the this is the Ohm 4, the new DJI Ohm 4. That's $150 thing. But the stabilization on smartphones are so fantastic now. Sometimes it's just as good to do it handheld. But to be able to preview those clips on this beautiful screen, this is a miracle device, and they're only getting better and better and better. And by the way, don't forget about just standard tripod shots. Saying right here, if y'all send me an email to joe@joevanwyk.com, and I can send you a link to this thing. But this is a little tripod that I can vlog with this. In other words, clip my camera onto here and blah, 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 walk and talk. Or I can just use it as a little tabletop tripod, and it goes up and down. Easy to carry along with me and throw into a backpack. Use this a lot. Yeah.
Right, and we have 1 or 2 more minutes. Any more questions before we end? Yes.
Connie, the gimbal, would it do the same thing as what I just showed, the video that we showed? Yeah, I was using this in most of those shots. Yep. most of those shots. But like I said, that one low shot of her feet, that was handheld, because I can use this gimbal upside down, but it just handheld was the easiest way to do that. Yeah. Oh, but for a realtor, oh my gosh, I mean, this is totally indispensable for and like a realtor for your video library. Um, Part of your video library would be some of your favorite shots that have been taken by your real estate videographers, and taking clips of that, not necessarily to promote property, this particular property, but things that you could use, bring in clips, other things. And let's say that you put those together in a simple app like Adobe Spark. And so, boom, you walk and talk and do a selfie kind of vlog style little intro. And then you're dragging in a couple of B-roll clips of beautiful homes. And then you're grabbing another little B-roll clip of Mount Cypress, because their office is in Carbondale. So that's where that comes into play.
Well, thank you so much, Joe. I really appreciate you coming and talking about this. That was a really great presentation.
Thank you so much, folks. I'm here again, Joe at joevanwyk.com, or call me 970-319-6683. Call me, text me. I'm here for you, here to serve.
Thanks again, Joe, and thanks everyone for attending. As I was saying in the chat, this is actually being recorded, both the Spanish language version and the English, and they'll be up on the library's YouTube page by the end of the week. You can also see all the past Business and Breakfast recordings. At the end, once I end this session, you'll have a link to a survey. Please fill that out. Let us know what you thought of today's presentation, what else you would like to see in the future. We have ideas for what everyone wants to see, but it's nice to actually hear from you directly what subjects you're interested in. So with that, thank you everyone for attending. Thanks again to Joe, and I hope you all have a great rest of your day.
See you soon.